Welcome to my channel. I'm here again, your sweet teacher Jane. For today's video, we are going to talk about the LDM2 or the Learning Delivery Modalities course for teachers na I know pinoproblema na naman ng mga kaguruan kung paano ito tatapusin. Now this time, as you go on, sa panonood ninyo sa aking video, makakatulong po ito at magkakaroon po kayo ng idea kung paano nyo uumpisahan ang ating LDM2. If you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for you to be updated in my next videos. To start with, LDM2 means Learning Delivery Modalities Course for Teachers. LDM po natin, for pre-implementation module, we have learned that we will be having a portfolio, a tool that can be used to record and reflect on one's learning progress. Now, kung dati, MOVs ang tawag natin, ngayon po ay artifacts. And these artifacts that we are going to prepare, I'll be providing you a sample. Before we proceed to the sample of artifacts, if you have questions or topics na gusto nyong ibahagi ko sa inyo, just write it in the comment section and I'll find time to discuss it to you.
Here is my sample on Learning Delivery Modalities course for teachers, LDM2. The first one is the cover. So dito po, kanya-kanya po tayo ng design kung ano po ang gusto natin gamitin. In my sample, I have put 3 logos, yung sa school, sa DepEd, at saka po yung sa district. So I have added also my picture and the picture of my principal. So it's for you to decide on how you will do your cover. This is only a sample. The next one is table of contents. In table of contents, we have 2 parts. The first part are the required artifacts, and the second part are the self-selected artifacts. So, nakalagay po dito yung mga under ng required artifacts, at the same time the pages, para hindi po tayo maligaw sa paghanap ng mga artifacts natin. For the required artifacts, these are artifacts that you have to include in the portfolio, as this covers the standard work that you do in the LDMs. So, iisa-isahin po natin yung mga required artifacts. The first one is Individual Learning Monitoring Plan Template. So, dito po sa Individual in Learning Monitoring Plan, nakalagay din po yung PPST strand, which is 3.1 Learners' Gender, Needs, Strengths, Interests, and Experiences. You may include 2 to 3 ILMPs. Write the progress of each pupil and the intervention you gave to the learner. So, yan, pwede nyo pong ilagay yung kung paano in-assist yung learner on answering the modules for you to be able to show the progress and how you deal with the children. And don't forget to write annotation. I have here my sample annotation. The learner does not answer the word problems and lead some activities unanswered. So I immediately took time to reach out for the parents and gave an attention about this matter. I have given additional activity sheet to answer and deepen the lesson. I even provided more attention and gave follow-up by communicating with parents and asked them to give some time to make a follow-up to their child and guide them in answering the modules. And I gave extended time of completion of tasks. So, yun po. Huwag pong kalimutan kung ano yung ginawa sa bata na ilalagay po natin sa ating annotation. For our next artifact, we have the lesson plans. For example, you may use DLP, DLL, WHLP. WLP, WLL, lesson exemplars, and the likes. You may also include the PPST strand 3.4, learners in difficult circumstances. So kung ano po yung gusto nyo gamitin na um, lesson plan, kung ginamit nyo po ay WHLP, yung part po na may learners in difficult circumstances, yun po yung ipapakita. Kung DLL naman po or DLP that you have used in your classroom observation, pwede rin po. Pwede po kung ano po yung gagamitin ninyo na naipakita nyo yung learners in difficult circumstances that you have achieved. Don't forget to write also here an annotation. So my sample annotation is, in my lesson plan, I use online delivery services strategy presenting to learners for their special needs, especially in this time of pandemic. So showing them the learners in difficult circumstances, providing them examples on how to face difficult circumstances. For my next lesson plan, by the way, we can have here 2 to 3 lesson plans. So my second lesson plan that I have used is my DLP that I have used again in my classroom observation. So as you can see, the PPST strand, I have put 2 PPST strand, which is 4.1, Planning and Management of Teaching and Learning Process, and 4.2, Learning Outcomes Aligned with Learning Competencies. As I have told you a while ago, as I have mentioned a while ago, pwede pong ilagay lang yung part na kung saan mo na-attain or na-achieve or naipakita yung strand ng PPST. So in my case, I have the PPST for content, knowledge, skills, and meeting the curriculum requirements for curriculum guide and for the TLP based on PPST modules. Okay. So that's it. And don't forget to write an annotation. My example for annotation is presenting my lesson shows that the planning and management of objectives to meet the maximum requirement based on our curriculum guide or CG. Following the content performance and learning competencies where objectives were accomplished. Learning outcomes were aligned in learning competencies. For my third lesson plan, I have a PPST strand 5.1, Design, Selection, Organization, and Utilization of Assessment Strategies. So in my lesson, I have used differentiated activities given to pupils. You may also contextualize your lessons, depends on your examples and presentation. For my sample annotation, I provided differentiated activity to facilitate learning. I believe that giving activities like this will make learners be more cooperative and participative. Giving them also an opportunity to express their answers will give them confidence that would help learning to take place. Our next artifact is teacher-made or modified learning resources. PPST Strand 4.5, Teaching and Learning Resources, including ICT. So here is my sample. I have included my virtual online class or virtual classroom observation using ICT. I also put the sample module that I have used in my lesson. You may include 2 to 3 sample modules in here. Screenshots of 2 to 3 online lesson presentation, quizzes using collaborative technology.
And of course, don't forget to put an annotation.
For our next required artifact, we have certificates of participation in any professional development or PD activities. 7.3 professional links with colleagues. 7.5 professional development goals for our PPSD strand. You may include 2 to 3 PD activities. Briefly explain whether these were part or not part of your original PD or professional development goals in your development plan, and how you applied what you have learned in your work as a teacher. And don't forget to write an annotation. For my annotation, as a teacher, I wanted to grow and learn professionally. I attended this 3 seminar workshop from Vibal, which I know it will be very helpful for my professional growth, especially this new normal. Since we are catering modular distance learning, this online opportunity gave me insights on how to deliver our modality to our learners in consideration of the approach and strategies we will use. For our last required artifact, we have reflective summary with PPST Strand 7.4, professional reflection and learning to improve practice. So your reflective summary should answer the question, do you feel that this collection of work really reflects your abilities and what you have achieved this year through LDM course? Why or why not? And your reflection should describe your personal experience in implementing distance or learning delivery modalities. Show depth analysis and synthesis of this experience and relate it to professional standards and to your professional and personal development goals. Moving on to the self-selected artifacts. These are those that you might consider having in your portfolio to satisfy the criteria used in assessing it. The first one is MOVs on engaging learners for their progress and achievement. PPSD Strand 5.2, monitoring and evaluation of learner progress and achievement. 5.3, feedback to improve learning. So, pwede po tayong mag-include dito ng mga pictures lang. The first one is conversation through chat, text, video conferences about the class requirements. Next is we have notes signed by parents during the conferences, activity sheets or portfolio of the learners, and kumustahan or consultation with the learners.
For our next artifact, we have MOVs on professional engagement with colleagues with PPST Strand 7.3 professional links with colleagues. So we have socially distanced in person or online learning session. You may include LDM related or LAC session, faculty meetings, and in-service training. And for the last artifact, we have MOVs on engaging key stakeholders in the teaching-learning process. We have 5.4 communication of learners' needs, progress, and achievement on key stakeholders, and 6.3 engagement of parents and the wider school community in the educative progress. So we have the quick parent-teacher conference or online kumustahan, and following up our pupils during distribution of modules, and ask the parents to sign on whatever you have discussed during the conference. And this is done during distribution and retrieval of modules. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope nakatulong po sa inyo ang aking mga sample of artifacts. Again, yung mga links po nasa description box.